Greetings. We continue today in part 4 of Manifesting Your Pedigree from 1 John 3:7 through 10. And we'll conclude today. I want you to return to Matthew 7 with me in your thoughts. He says, a corrupt tree must habitually bring forth evil fruit. See, it's the absence of God's Spirit that prevents the production of good fruit. And he says a good tree habitually brings forth good fruit. Now we understand the caveat, the hindrance of the mind and body, the flesh, prevents perfection in producing good fruit. However, I think the thing we should note is the presence of any good fruit is indicative of a good tree. But the possible deception is whether that is true fruit or pseudo fruit, false fruit, we could call it. Judas Iscariot was a charlatan. He produced pseudo fruit, which may have deceived many men, but not God. In John 6 and verse 64, he says, "But there are some of you that believe not." For Jesus knew from the beginning who they were that believed not, and who should betray him. Again in John 13, verses 10 and 11, he said, "He that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit. And you are clean, but not all. For he knew who should betray him, therefore said he, you're not all clean." Also, Paul warned in 2 Corinthians 11, 13 through 15, "For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works." Now, extremely urgent to know the words which follow Matthew 7:15 through 20, that is Matthew 7:21 through 23, say this: "Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say unto me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity." Now let me hasten to say, these people make statements of facts. The only question is not what they did, but the motivation and the power by which they had done them. Judas Iscariot and many, many more like him are going to discover in God's judgment that they were deceived, and they failed to produce the true fruit of the Spirit of God, which is given to all who believe. Rather, they will find they have produced a pseudo fruit by the works of the devil, who gave them the outward appearance of being a child of God, but inwardly they were actually the children of the devil. Further, we should note that Matthew 7:24 through 27 says, "The foolish man builds a house upon the deceptive sands of outward transformation, which will lead to utter destruction and ruin. By contrast, the wise man builds a house upon the truth of God's word about inward salvation, which will lead him to preservation and ultimate confirmation, instead of a denial, as Matthew 7:21 through 23 points out." So I close by asking you, which pedigree are you and I manifesting today? God knows our true bloodline, whether we're a child of God or a child of devil, and it will be revealed as your eternal status when you stand before him, either at the bema, the judgment seat of Christ, or the great white throne judgment.